Hey, what's up everyone, Morey Croson here, and today we're going to be going over how to train in order to get more athletic, and we're going to start the video right now. This is the newest edition of the Performance Lab.
Reach your individual goals. You don't want to just talk about straight line speed. We also want to talk about your ability to be quick. We break down your video. Let's make you into the quarterback I know you can become.
All right, so this is something that is really important really for all sports, is how to train in order to make it so you can increase athleticism. I think a lot of times what ends up happening is when you start to add in strength training and power training and things like that, you could almost end up doing a negative in terms of performance, because you could end up getting a little bit more stiffness or just not training in order to help you achieve higher levels of overall performance and really overall levels of athleticism. And so the first thing I want to talk about when it comes to doing this, and I'll show a couple exercises as well, we want to be able to establish great balance and be able to do that in a wide variety of different planes. And so going through and doing like single leg range of motion, with like a single leg RDL, we could add weights with this as well, and being able to go side to side, just establishing what's important when you're doing these balance exercises is establishing that center of mass, center of balance for yourself. So, for me, I could feel it really specific in the balls of my feet in terms of where all of my control is and where my balance is, and that allows me to then be able to utilize that area to then be able to push off, decelerate, cut, all those things end up being important. But first you want to find that foundation that then helps you build the athletic principles that you want. So first you want to be able to establish great balance. Then from there you want to go into landing, right? So now we want to be able to go in, jump to the side, be able to get to that same position and be able to balance and be able to control. Same type of thing with being able to like cut, gain some speed, be able to decelerate and be able to do that quickly and in a way that makes it so you're going to be able to move side to side. I'm going to do it to the side as well. We're here, and then you just want to get to a good spot that allows you to be able to really move your body from either direction. Because like once I'm here, if I want to be able to go here, I can. If I need to be able to stop and go back, if I need to cut forward, you want to just be able to have that good spot where now I can go, obviously both legs, be able to cut, move side to side. And these type of exercises, just establishing that ability to be able to decelerate, push back, decelerate and push off to the side, really gives you the, again, foundation to be able to then build on just having overall more athleticism, more control of your body. And that ends up being a big thing when it comes to athleticism, is how much body control do you have and how responsive are your joints to the outside stimulus and proprioception, right? Awareness of your joints. So, when you're going and you're decelerating, really when you're landing, what ends up happening is, a lot of people will end up kind of allowing their knees to kind of come inwards, or will start to bend and allow their hips to come forward here. These are all things that are going to make it so you're not as athletic, and it's going to make it so when you're going through these exercises, you're not building yourself up for success, you're actually taking yourself and limiting your performance. So when you're going and you're bending your knees, you really want to think about being able to sit back. Let me adjust my mic a little bit here. But you really want to think about being able to sit back with your hips, right? And going through more of that position to allow you to, and you can see how my knee is right over my toe. I'm trying to keep my hip nice and aligned, because that makes it so I'm in balance, right? Once I get off to the side here, or once my knee starts to cave in, now that gives me the inability to be able to control my body, the inability to be able to control my foot and my ankle. And again, once I'm here, so when I'm going through this knee bend, I keep my weight in that same spot, in that ball of my foot, right underneath the big toe, and I don't want to allow my weight to then, if I go through that type of motion, now my weight goes on the inside, right? So now I can't really control it. Same type of thing if I let my weight go too far out here. Now all my weight goes on the outside. So, you want to be able to find that specific spot for yourself that really gives you a lot of control, and then be able to do a wide variety of different things there, right? The lower you can go, you could still feel that spot, and then the more control you have, the lower you'll be able to go through really a lot of different ranges of motion. And that really gives you the framework to be able to build a lot of athletic success. Another big thing that goes into it is spine position, right? So when you're going through, this is where posture ends up being a big thing. They've done a bunch of studies that talk about how posture has a direct correlation to performance and power production. And the reason is because if your spine is out of place, if you're going to load to jump, right? And I load and my back is more rounded or if I extend too much in my back, you're setting yourself up to not be able to perform at the highest, right? So it always goes down to like, how am I doing each movement? I wish everybody could really understand this, because like the reason I'm making this video is I was recently working with a team, 50 kids going through a screen, and just so many of them just have just not great movement, right? We're never taught how to move correctly in order to build, and it's like, if you just understand how to move the right way, you'll be able to be more athletic just by moving correctly. So instead of, allowing yourself to lose that center of balance, or just understanding where that center of balance is critical. Being able to understand knee bend and how to do that correctly, and how to decelerate and how to land. So, doing single leg depth jumps and broad jumps and all these types of exercises are so important to help you understanding how to be able to control your body. And then you can put that in anything. You can become a better basketball player, baseball player, football player, sprinter. All those things come from that main point that ends up being, athleticism, right? How well can you control your body? So with the spine, what you want to be able to do is maintain length, right? So we don't want to end up shortening ourselves here. We don't want to end up overextending ourselves here, right? Because this is going to take away from my length. I want to be able to maintain my position as I'm going through, squats, deadlifts, right? Like I don't want to end up putting myself in a position where my spine ends up being compromised, because now I have a framework for my core. Once I go and I'm getting outside of this is outside of where my core wants to be able to operate. I can't use my front core as well when I'm like this. When I'm this way, I am not able to, I still can't use my front core as well, but really I'm not able to use my back well. This puts my back in a really compromised position. You can still use your core a little bit in more of a rounded position, but again, it's not set up for optimal success. This is where building the core is critical. You want to understand how to be able to move side to side, have the range of motion, have the strength to be able to do that, and being able to really concentrate on where your spine alignment is in that lower core, and then also in the mid back, same type of thing. You don't want to be overly rounded. You don't want to be overly extended. Like, again, when you're getting yourself into this position, that rib cage flaring like this, it's a common position that I see, and it immediately deactivates that anterior part of your core, the front part of your core, that is critical when it comes to, flexing of the spine and controlling of the spine. And once that ends up being out of position, now power production goes down, right? Talking about the posture and how that ends up making a big difference. Another big thing is head position, right? Going and allowing your head to go too far off to the side as we're trying to do any type of movement. Letting our head come out in front of us, having our head too far back behind us. Really, that ends up being a big one that I'll see, is like people will come and land and they'll it's like that type of a movement, right? When you're landing, you want to be landing and being in a good position, right? Ready to move again. If you just go and you jump and you just kind of land and just do some crazy stuff with your joints, that's going to create a pattern, right? So now your body, when you land, is going to want to go like that, right? It's going to want to bend in your knees, going to want to be, go on the outs, go back with the head. It's not good, right? You want to land and have the fundamentals. So now if I want to go and jump and land on one leg, I could do that no problem, right? And being able to understand the concepts in order to build that is super, super important when it comes to, again, athletic success, right? You have to be able to, and the younger you could be, if you're 11, 12 years old watching this video right now, or have a kid that's 11, 12 years old that could take some information from this and apply it to their current training fundamentals, right? This has nothing to do with weight. It has nothing to do with, gym access. You could do this anywhere, right? You can start building these things 30 minutes a day, and within 2 weeks, you're going to see tremendous improvements in balance, body control, ability to accelerate, speed, everything, hand-eye coordination. It'll all get better. Proprioception will get better. All that ends up being an important part of being able to understand building up athleticism. And I think the last one is just going to be acceleration, right? Being able to really improve your quickness, improve your turnover rate. So just running for 5 or 10 yards, being able to do like explosive push-ups, being able to really control your body as you're going through really any type of upper body exercise, pull-ups, any type of stuff. You want to be able to understand the eccentric action is supposed to be a little bit more controlled, a little bit slower. So when the muscle's lengthening, then that's supposed to be more of a controlled movement. And then when you're trying to explode concentrically, contract the muscle, shorten the muscle, then you want to be able to really utilize that in more of an explosive manner, not something that is going through, slowly, right? So for instance, pull up, right? You want to control going down, explode coming back up. Control going back down, explode coming back up, or a push up. You want to be nice, and you want to understand how to control on the way down, explode up. Control down, explode up, right? Squats, same thing. If you're going and you're doing squats and they're just like all out of control, right? Like that's not going to build anything for you. You want to be able to control, explode up, explode up, right? And that ends up being an important part of being able to, again, build athletic success, right? This is all about becoming a better athlete. This is not about how much weight you have on the bar. This is not about how many push-ups you could do. If you do 50 bad push-ups, it's not going to have the same correlation to you in comparison to doing 20 great push-ups. So those things end up being important, and the sooner you can start to understand that, the better off you're going to be in your overall development. So as always, guys, I hope you liked this video. If it helped you at all, go ahead and click that thumbs up down below. Subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, comments, or recommendations, you can leave those down below. Check out some of our programs. I'm going to put like everything down in the description here, just because I think it applies for quarterbacks as well as anybody trying to get faster, jump higher. All that's going to be in the description down below. So check that out if you're interested. And as always, thanks for watching. We'll talk to you soon.